All right, we are back.
Yeah, man.
Finally.
I know,
took a
back
couple weeks off.
Yep, but we
felt
still
good.
we were still
needed
pushing
that.
stuff out.
Yeah, we were still.
That was awesome.
We are still pushing stuff out. We still got bees that we're pushing out. But you know, we after that we got a few days where you know
got
we're gonna just
downtime.
we're just gonna give you guys some, hey, go back and watch this interview. Go back and watch that interview.
Yeah,
So, but
So
it's
there we
all
go.
good.
And now we got something that we wanted to do because we mentioned it before and some other stuff.
True. This is actually interview that was
Long overdue.
Very
like how
long
we did that
overdue.
together. It's wild, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we practiced it, huh?
It's like we
didn't
know
even
each
practice
other
that, to be honest. No doubt. That's the truth.
But tapped in with us today is a gentleman who has proudly served his country and is now proudly serving his community in many ways, while also putting on for the culture. He's an LA original who has worked with many well-known artists, actors, models. Please welcome Mr. Poet King Rodriguez.
Yeah.
What?
Renee.
Who are we talking about?
You like that?
Me? Like, wow, that's a good
How is-
intro.
that's
That
a
was
pretty good
nice
intro, right?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Man,
Badass.
see that? Getting more and more compliments on that intro. I like it, man. I love it.
I try.
Hey, Renee.
Hey, English 1A is really helping me out.
Yeah, well, it's
cool.
It's working out pretty good, man.
Now,
I like it.
Was that made with what's that?
No,
That
not at
chat-
all.
Oh,
I
chat,
did
chat,
it-
or chat,
Chat,
chat GPT,
ChatGPT.
Gemini,
No. He
Grok.
saw me writing it.
I saw him. Yeah, we were writing it. You
You
know.
know, I tried that the other day and I was tripping out on it and I didn't like what they said.
No.
And I was like, some parts was cool, but
Yeah.
But you can modify it. You can manipulate it too. You
To
can
how you
actually-
want.
You can ask
I'm
it
still
how
learning some
you
of this stuff.
want,
I use
exactly
it.
how you want it.
I use it all the time.
I'm
Yeah.
still learning. I'm
All
still
the
old
time.
school. I'll Word document and type it on myself. And
I
it's
like
good,
that.
Cool. I'll send it to the wife. If she's
Yeah.
happy with it, then cool. I'm good to go.
I like that though.
I use it for homework. I'm not gonna lie.
You
Jay,
can-
matter of fact, Jay and I were just on the phone earlier today, and we were talking about the fact because we're both in school, and he was like, because I was telling him it's been difficult. Like it's getting harder and harder now with
Right.
school. And these essays in 5 and 6 and 7 pages, I'm like, I can't write that much. I love to write, but I can't do all that. He's like, bro, do you not use ChatGPT? I'm like, hell yeah, I use the shit
He had
out
to
of
check
that
you,
thing.
man.
And I'm surprised they haven't. I'm surprised they haven't caught me using it.
Hey, don't worry. It's, what was that one UCLA grad that I guess he showed his
Oh, yeah, it was
laptop
like, thank you-
and he's
thanks,
all thanks
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT and he got
Oh
his degree.
yeah, I seen that. I saw that on
UCLA,
like a
dude.
TikTok video or something.
Yeah, and you got your
And
degree. We're gonna talk more about that, man.
That was old school, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
you
you
had to
did it.
do
No, you
everything
did it the
from
real way.
here.
though,
I did
bro.
everything, reading books and writing stuff down. And I guarantee you, I found a folder the other day that actually had some of my old notes. And I was going crazy that day. And I realized it because my gibberish,
Oh yeah,
I was writing in circles.
scratch notes.
But it wasn't. But it was all about medical, and it was all about how to do an autopsy and perform an autopsy, and it was in circles. And I was like, I must have been on a good one that day. Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, there was Adderall back then.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
I didn't have access to none of that stuff. You know, it was just the old school stuff. Just
Just how to deal with it.
puff some weed and
Okay.
and
Yeah.
start reading a book. And my concentration level was really bad back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm surprised how I got through that stuff. To be honest,
my
with you.
concentration level is really bad now.
Yeah, no, hey Renee, I know we talked before. I mean, and if, for those that don't know, Renee is our manager. He
Yes,
manages
sir.
a lot of the guests that come on our show, and respect and shout out to Renee for that, for always hooking up. We always make sure we mention that, and then
No, thank you.
he comes through with it, brings a lot of good guests, but we did do one with you, and then it screwed up. The audio messed up. Everything was completely a wreck. So we wanted to do this right.
You were erect?
No, right. Did I say erect?
It sounded like you said
did
erect.
say- you did
I
say
said we
that.
did screwed it up. I did.
It
Yeah.
sounded like you said it right.
I jacked it up. I probably even jacked that up too. Fuck it.
Edit that.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm not gonna edit it. I'm gonna leave it in there. Fuck it. But you know what? I was going back and looking at some of the old video that we did with you, right? And I know you grew up in Boyle Heights, right?
I was born and raised in Boyle Heights. From that point, there was some conflict of interest between my family and my mom's side and my dad's side. And both my parents were heroin addicts. My grandmother Delia Aguilera, who I call my grandma Wera, she went and got me from my mom and dad. I guess they were on a good one that day. And at that point, it was one of those situations where It's up and down. You know, my dad didn't want me to grow up with her.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wanted me to get out of that side of that family. And the stories that I've been told was my dad got me and took me to my grandma Ita, which is my grandma Margarita, my mom's mom. And at that point, my grandma Ita was living in West LA. So the story is, my grandma Ita told me the same story, that my dad showed up, you know, no clothes, no nothing, and said, here, I don't want him to grow up with my mom.
At what age was that? Did
I
that
want to
start to
say I
happen?
was, give or take, a year old almost, maybe a little bit.
Oh,
A
wow.
little bit younger than that. But as I was growing up, I was still bouncing back and forth, and my grandma lived around the projects, Aliso Village back then, and I was still coming back and forth. So I would go back on summer times and stuff like that because I always stayed with family. You know, not having a mom and dad was kind of hard, and the way it was is like summer times or my grandma had to like work or whatever it was she had to do. She was still working at that time. And both grandmas were still working at that time. I would go with my grandma Wera and stay in summers or weeks or whatever it was. And
But grandmas would take turns.
grandmas would take turns
With you?
with me.
And you were the only child, right?
For my mom and dad, yeah, I'm an only child.
Right.
My mom had another child who's my half brother. He has a different dad. At that point, my grandma Ita had to take care of me and my brother Michael.
Oh, wow.
And then my mom was lost for a lot of years. You know, she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. She was just shooting that heroin up.
Heroin.
My dad was in prison. My mom would come and go here and there. Like, you know, I guess when things would get rough and she didn't have no feria or anything like that, she'd come home.
come back.
And then, excuse me, sorry. She would show up for like a week maybe, try to clean herself up, and then something would go
Right
wrong.
back into the streets.
Leave again.
And she'd just bounce. You know what I mean? There were a lot of
What was
times.
that like? Like just growing up around that, knowing that was gonna, you know, because it was a lifestyle that you knew that had to happen because your mom and your dad.
I
both drug
honestly,
addicts.
growing up, I didn't make 2 cents of it because I really didn't care.
That's what I was going to ask. As a kid, did it really
I-
resonate with you?
I
seeing
didn't
your mom back
understand
and
it.
forth?
I think I was 7 years old when I saw my mom shoot up a needle, and that to me was like, you know, like I questioned a lot of it. I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And you know,
Right.
I want to say that I was smart, but I didn't play stupid either, and so it was hard. It was hard because, you know, a lot of my childhood trauma stemmed into later on down the line, you know, teenage years and adolescent years and you know, growing. I always had a mindset of like, this is what life is, you know, this is what life's giving you. You just fuck it, you move forward and you make what you can and make it worth it.
Yeah.
So it was hard. It was hard, you know, and there's no denying it. My mom, you know, to this day, I always say my mom struggled so much and I never understood why.
But is your mom still alive today?
No, my mom passed away in 2009. After finally, you know, many years down the line, she realized she needed to clean her shit up, and
Right.
was a little too late.
was a
The
little
body
too late,
at that point was like rejecting her, trying to be sober, her trying to just get life together. She remarried. I have a lot of stepbrothers and stepsisters with my stepdad. She lived in Mexico for quite a while. You know, we would go down there every now and then. She was doing good here and there, but then I found out years later that my stepfather, you know, he was a big drug dealer, big narco type person out there, and he was giving her
Oh, he was feeding.
He was also like
feeding her
providing.
into that
kind of like,
addiction.
you know, like when you go to get the methadone, you know, a certain percentage.
Yeah.
He'd wing her off and, you know, give her like a half a balloon or something
Yeah.
like that, from what I understand.
Kept her around.
So, you know what I mean? Like, that was the kind of stuff. And then my mom, being my mom, you know, there was times where it got rough. It got dark sometimes. You know, I was always looking for my mom and looking in the streets for her.
In regards to like your grandparents, did they at least give you guidance while living with them? Were they at least somewhat like
I
in the
lived
picture as
more
far
with
as
my
hanging out with you, taking you, you know, there, of course, you know, the old school grandparents, you know, Mexican grandparents, you know, their structure was like work, come home, feed the kids, and then that's kind of it.
No doubt.
But did they at least somewhat hang out with
my
you?
grandma tried. She tried, you know, and then given who my family was, my dad's side of the family, I saw that at an early age how money would come and go. Money exchange. Like my grandma made lots of money. My other grandma, my grandma Abuela. You know,
I thought I heard something. I think you said on another podcast, maybe it was a couple years ago, that she was also dealing heroin, or
yeah,
one of
my grandma Abuela. My grandma Abuela, you know, when she came to the United States, she didn't have nothing. She had 4 kids. She was working as a maid, going and cleaning people's houses and stuff like that. And then, sure enough, they lived in South Central. All right, so deep in the hood, literally nothing but gang affiliation, gang life, drug life, you know, stuff like that was always around my father and my uncles.
Was this before the crack epidemic?
Oh yeah, way before that. We're talking, you know, the 60s, the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah, okay.
And then fast forward to like the 70s. I was born in 75. Back then, my dad, I think he was 19 years old. Yeah, he was 19 years old. My mom was 17.
Wow.
Both, you know, 18, 19. You know, they're in that bracket. They're both
young parents.
My mom got hooked on heroin because of my dad. And then my dad, you know, was in and out of prison at that point. You know, he was already serving time in Folsom. You know, the old Folsom. You know, like, not that new one. You know what I mean?
That's big time, though.
You know what I mean? Mingling and I don't like talking about that path just because it sounds like, oh, check this out. This Vato's talking. You know, he doesn't know what he's talking about, but it's not true. I know exactly, you know, who's connected, who's not connected, right? So my father and all my uncles were connected, and I know I'll probably catch some heat for it, but you know, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
They were in and out of prison. My uncle Felipe Boxer spent his whole adolescent life in the feds.
Damn.
You know what I mean? My dad was in and out of prison. My dad went to jail when I was 7 years old, and I never saw my dad on the outside again.
At 7?
Wow,
that was
it?
it?
7? That was it. That was the last time I saw my dad. And I never got to see my father. Like, you know how some people would go and they'd get the table visits? You get to hug people and this and that?
Visits?
No.
Like that? Nothing.
No type of visit.
It was always behind plexiglass.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Because he was so high power. And it's like, he was always in the fucking shoe. He was always locked down. You know what I mean? It's because he was a known soldier.
So he ruined his own visitations. Like the fact that
I don't know how that works because I've never gotten locked up, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I know prison on the inside because I don't.
Yeah.
I've been blessed that I didn't go that route, and I got joint suspension when I got myself into a problem, and literally stayed away from that shit. You know, and
so
I was headed down the route, you know, gang banging and stuff like that. You know, I did that
because you grew up in the neighborhood. So how did you avoid? You know, how did you avoid that?
You know what? I'm blessed to say, and I'm strong-minded when I say this, is that I wasn't never a follower. I didn't believe in listening to somebody telling me how I can live my life, or hey, check this out, you got to come stand here, you got to kick it with us.
Right.
I look at fools like, look at you.
I don't gotta do that. Yeah,
it's funny, me, bro.
It's funny because he says that he was strong-minded, and we had this conversation with Beeves, our last guest.
Yeah,
where it was like that was our influence. And what did we do? We ran to that influence,
right?
Rather than going against it, where
an outlet
made the right choice of going against it.
I went that route. But I started to realize it, and there's 2 things you're gonna get out of that situation. And I don't knock anybody, and don't take this the wrong way. I'm not being disrespectful, but I wanted something different. I didn't want to be standing out there. I had lost cousins at an early age.
Right.
I lost family members at an early age to gang violence and all that stuff. So I grew up in an era where there was no joking around. You couldn't be on the corner kicking it and wearing the wrong color. You're going to get smoked. You know what I mean?
Or the wrong hat.
Boyle Heights.
You know what I mean? East LA, South Central, wherever it is you were at. And the majority of the times we were chilling in South Central. And I went from South Central to Boyle Heights, South Central, then to West LA. So I was bouncing around because literally like that's how it was. My grandma she really couldn't control me. She couldn't tell me, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Neither one of them could. But I was smart enough to realize that when I would see them slanging and stuff like that, they'd be like, oh, like they thought I was stupid or something, you know? I'd be like, you know what you guys are doing? You know? I just didn't know what it was they were slanging.
Right.
At what age was this?
Well, like 11, 10.
Okay.
Oh, right before teenager years.
Right
you're
before,
so impressionable years.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
you start recognizing
you would chip
things.
out on
For sure.
stuff. You know, your grandma would give you a handful of balloons and say, go give them to that guy over there. And it's like you're opening up and you thought they were little water balloons, right? I don't know, it's black tar. You know what I mean? It's like, here you go, like give it to him. We'd be on our bikes on Trinity Park because that's what she would slang out. Trinity Park.
That was the
Gama
block.
Isn't that crazy? You
know
have
what I
your
mean?
grandma.
She would tell you. She would,
Gotta hustle, bro.
She'd be across the street. The customer would come and give her the money, and she would tell you like this. We had like the hand signals. Like it'd be one for the red, one two for the green, and the blue, and it was different amounts in each balloon. So that's how we would do it. Me and my cousins would ride our bikes.
Did you ever?
That's
I mean, experiment with drugs or like at that? I mean, anything like that at all?
I didn't. No, I didn't till I was probably about 16, 17 almost.
What was your first drug?
Weed. It was
Weed?
Okay.
It was weed, and then I when I took off, I was 17 years old. I went to the army.
At
and
17?
right before I turned 18, still 17. You know what I mean?
Did they
signed
did
it.
My
did
grandma
they sign
signed.
it?
My grandma had
okay.
a sign.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Because I'm
Did
an
they
only
sign you
child,
up?
I had a sign. That I was
Wow.
willing
Yeah.
to forfeit my life in
Yeah.
case of anything. Because it's
So the
kind of
last-
like the way it goes down. Because you're the last.
You're the last name. Yeah, it's the last name. You
and
got
I
to
was an
carry
only
it.
child for my dad, so I would.
Oh,
have to carry
that's
that
right.
name.
Yeah.
And then back then we had. You remember the little with the cars, the selective service.
Select the service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't make people do that nowadays.
I know.
it's a
They don't
trick.
even mail you that no
they
more.
don't mail it to you no more.
No.
Kids nowadays, you have to go and do it, but kids don't do it.
I hear they're trying to bring it back though.
Well, they should bring it back because I remember the shit we had to go through.
We had to sign it.
I turned 50 this year, so now now I know. Shit.
Y'all want that back
I got
now.
a funny story. I got a funny story for y'all about the old part. But it's I went there, and when I took off, everybody didn't know where the hell I was at. Everybody thought I was locked up. My whole family, my mom's side of the family, they thought I was locked up. They thought I was in prison. They thought I ended up like my dad.
And you went to boot camp.
I was in boot camp. And I told my grandma, I was like, if
It
anybody
was a
else, don't
different
tell
type of
nothing.
lockup.
My grandma was the only one who knew who I left. And I left because I was like, I had to go.
What led up to going to boot camp though? Why did you? Okay, I'm gonna go to boot camp.
My
That's
dad
it.
died. My dad died, and I was down a bad path of destruction. At that point, I didn't give a damn. I was doing whatever I wanted to. I was hanging on the side of the freeways, on top of the freeway signs, fucking, getting lit. Just
Yeah.
fucking,
Okay, I was gonna
sure.
say,
smoking
tagging
P
it
dogs.
up.
and shit.
Tagging?
Smoking P dogs. That was the goal. Was to fucking.
That was what we were there
Hit up,
for.
hit up the heavens. I
But
like
then we
that.
chilling, the homie be like, I got a P dog. Let's fucking roll that shit up, dog. Let's smoke that shit. Sit right there with the Randys and shit, thinking I was cool on top of a fucking freeway sign.
With your Krylon, ready
You know
in your
what I mean?
backpack, you ready to hit
Yeah,
that back cap. I'm in.
But I don't know. I got caught. I was always the pendejo. I always got caught right
Oh,
down the walls. I
man.
don't know how the fuck.
That's
I was,
me too, bro.
Everybody
I'm
else
with
would be
you.
running down the street, and here I am standing there just still doing my shit. But there was this program called the Clap Program, and it woke me up. It gave me a sense of, hey, this is not who you are. Because I from an early age, I didn't want to run with the homies. I didn't want to,
Right.
be like my primos or my tios. Like I didn't want to do that shit. I wanted,
Yeah, that's what everybody else was doing.
But see, this is what's interesting. You say you didn't want to do all that, but yet you were kind of doing that.
And that's the thing, is I knew better. And when you start to realize that you know better, it takes a minute for you to jump into it. It takes a minute for you to realize, hey, you know what? I got to go this route.
Right.
Because that route's only going to give me what
Okay.
better that I'm going to go into. So I would never go down the full path.
Okay.
I would half.
You were halfway.
I was half-assing a lot
Yeah.
of that shit. Like
Were you in school though too? Did you do high school or how?
so when I went,
When I went,
I showed up sometimes. It was cool.
I was at the ditching parties and shit. You know what I mean?
Hey,
back then. And
same
shit,
here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, all of
that's
us,
When,
right?
that's when like all those ditching parties really started.
Oh, yeah.
momentum
Yeah.
Before they got big.
Right
Yeah.
there on Fox
I
11
was
News.
there. I was there
Yeah.
when they were creating ditching parties and
That's
shit. Like,
right.
they'd be at the school.
I was part
and
of
next
the
thing you know,
foundation.
they had the meetings and like, hey, we have this fool's house. His mom and dad are gone for 3 days.
Right.
Well, let's fucking throw a party there, dog. Hey, let's do it.
That's what's up.
I'd be right there. Like, I'd be the open pendejo. Like, hey, what's up? What you guys going on?
Hell yeah.
Then I call the homies. Like, hey, come over here, dog. We're going to go to fucking Papa, Pantufla's house and shit.
Yep.
We're gonna party over there.
Pantufla's
We
house.
got the DJ system. Let's bring
Yep.
it. Fuck it. I got the DJ, dog.
Get
You
a
guys
balloon
ready?
tank.
So next thing you know, no, there were no balloon tanks
No,
then.
but
It was-
not yet.
like, not that shit. That shit didn't come till like later on.
A little bit later, but it was there.
Back then, it was like I said. It was the drug of choice was like acid and fucking. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
LSD.
It was like fucking P dogs or weed and shit.
Oof.
You know what I mean? Because back then that's how or crack. You'd be smoking the crack
Yeah.
in the corner like chilling and shit. You know what I mean? But it was those things that I started realizing that I didn't want to be a follower, and that's why I say I half-assed a lot of it. I could, to this day, people looking at me like, oh, we from dog? I tell them, blah blah, but it's like it wasn't my momentum. It wasn't my thing at the time.
Yeah.
I used to love writing on the walls. That was my thing. My art. I used to love art. You know, and that's what it was art. Damn, that shit was loud.
I know. What the hell?
But that's what it was.
But your thing was art.
It was because I wanted to be a dope artist.
Okay.
So was
I want to know more about the clap program though.
Yeah, the clap program, and was photography already a part of your life at that point?
Somewhat. Photography was a part of my life. I was back then. They had that store. Remember Zodi's?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys are my age and shit, but Zodi's was a store.
Throwback.
There used to be Thrifties, you know, and then Zodi's and shit. Like that was like that's like the Walmart. That used to be like Walmart. Zodi's.
Oh yeah.
Right. And there was one by the house in West LA, in Mid City. We lived in Mid City. They had the escalators go up and down. So I would go up and down on the escalators, just fucking around, and I passed by the little cameras on the way up, and I would snag them, and that's when I learned how to steal shit like quick, you know, like fuck camera, dude. Camera ain't gonna catch me because I'm quick. So I always had the little portable cameras, and then when I got to high school, I started bouncing around high schools. I can say this: LA High School has a third floor. Not a lot of people know this, but on that third floor, we threw a ditching party. What? Me and a bunch of my friends.
That's awesome.
While
Still ditching.
While school was going, and we got caught because some fool wanted to go into the teacher's lounge. We kept telling him, don't go into that, because there was like a big conference room, and there was like a relaxing room. They had sofas.
Wow.
Well, at that point, if you walked into this room, you would set off the alarm. Pendejo went into the room. Set off the alarms.
Back to you getting caught all the time.
That's how we got caught.
Yeah, right.
That's how we got caught. So I got kicked out for like a week or something. And then they let me come back. And then when I went back, my uncle had just gotten back from El Paso. This is my mom's brother. And he gave me a handful of skyrockets. So I was like, oh, I'm going to slang these. You know, fools always like fireworks.
Yeah.
Right? And
make some money.
I was selling them, and I sold them to one dude. This dude goes to the third floor, lights the fucking firework, and it hits the plant manager for the school. It hit him right in the eye.
Oh, damn.
Well, guess what? I learned what a rata was that fucking day, because that fool threw rat on me quicker than anything.
No way.
Came in,
and again, getting caught.
I'm sitting in class. You know, when I was going to school, I'd sit, you know, pay attention. I'm right there, and I'm doing my work and this and that. And I look up, and I just see the school's security, and she's looking dead at me, and she's like, I need to talk to him. And I remember I had my backpack, the fireworks in my backpack still. So I'm like kicking my backpack to the girl behind me, and she catches on. She grabs my bag. At that point, they walk up and like, where's the fireworks? Where's your backpack? And I'm like, I don't know, backpack. It's in my locker. You know? Slime my ass off and shit. Now they got me. That fool fucking threw rat on me, and nothing I can do. So I got kicked out of LA High School. And at that point, I went to Hamilton High School. Hamilton High School is where I was introduced into photography, 100%. Back then, I was taking pictures just to take pictures of the homies mobbing it up and doing pieces and stuff like that. And it was kind of cool because I used to like it. I was like, oh, I want to get the colors. Like, you know, dope, like the max. Back then, you know, when you did graffiti, you did graffiti.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It was no small little tags. You did burners. You know what I'm talking about?
Bring it.
Nowadays, everybody's with a roller, and I'm not knocking anybody, but back then, you had regular tips. You'd learn how to make lines and
cookie cutters.
Yeah. So
yeah, I feel you. I love
oven cleaner. You know what I mean? The oven cleaner had the best fat cap. You know what I mean? Snowball.
Hell yeah.
And I got to Hamilton High School, and that's where I learned photography. Like I started getting into it, but then I got kicked out of there because I always had a problem with authority.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah.
I don't know. But I think I still have it to this day. But
is that where the clap program came in?
Yeah. So I was down the path. I got caught. And at this point, they were tired of seeing me in the juvenile court because my grandma was always taking me. My grandma would always take me. You know, God rest her soul.
At least you went.
She was the woman. This is the reason why I didn't go to YA. This is the reason why I didn't. You know, I wouldn't spend no time in jail.
Yeah.
She was always there to pick me up. Always. I don't care if it was raining. My grandma didn't have a car. She was there. She was there
awesome.
at the police station. I think one time I got to YA, and it was at the East Lake Village Center. And I'm in the reception area, and sure enough, she showed up, pulled me out of that place quicker than shit.
Wow.
And she used to tell me,
that's the kind of support
she used to tell me that, you know, I don't want to see you like your dad.
She didn't beat your ass?
Oh, I got my ass beat.
Yeah.
I got my ass beat.
Old school ass whooping?
It was the kind of beating that go get me a stick. Yeah. Go get me the alarm.
You go get something for me to kick your ass.
And you had to go. Otherwise, you're going to get your ass even worse. And my grandma, mind you, was like 5 foot tall. this little old lady would beat the shit out of me. And she'd look at me and she's like, me está doliendo el mano, like to hit you so hard. So go get a stick. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where it's like, I was loved the right way by my grandma. But I you know, you tend to rebel. Because you don't understand what love is. You don't understand because you're looking for the love that you were supposed to have, number one.
From your parents.
From your parents.
Yeah.
And not everybody gets that.
Yeah.
And the sad part about this is like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I my grandpa used to be like, ponte a trabajar. You know, I was working since I was 12 years old, you know, and he was in the army, you know, he was in World War II and stuff like that. So it's like,
okay.
you know, that's the mindset that I had
Yeah.
was I'm going to join the army. I'm going to fucking be a killer. Fuck this. I'm going to train to get, you know, do this and this and that.
Right.
That clap program taught me something. And you know, I say it to this day because it's still heavy with me that somebody gave a damn to take the time out of their life to show me something different.
Yeah.
What my family didn't do, a stranger, a
Somebody
complete
else.
stranger saw something in me and said,
Off the street.
"Are you want to do this?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." Well, come on, you want to help me? I'd be like, "Seriously?" Like, "Yeah." Meanwhile, everybody else is over in the corner throwing up because he's doing this autopsy because they wanted to teach you what's going to happen if you continue with drugs. What's going to happen if you continue getting into trouble? Two things are going to be. Either you go to prison or you're going to end up on a table like that.
Wow.
There was no crazy scared straight where they, you know, you got somebody yelling at you and this and that. I mean, honestly, I don't think that was effective. What was effective was showing them what happens when you die. You know, what's going to happen when you're no longer here.
Yeah, that's really hard. What did you do before that, or I mean, after that time? You know, do boot camp or clap program, boot camp, and then I mean, how did that change coming out of the army and all that now has been said?
So the clap program basically was to show kids what can happen if you continue down the route you're going with alcohol, drugs, or just trying to be in the streets, gangbanging and stuff like that, or living gang violent life. Basically, the program was to scare the shit out of kids, and they did autopsies in front of the kids.
So it was a scared straight type of program.
Yeah, it was something like that, but it was a little bit more in depth and detailed because
you're seeing dead
you're
bodies.
watching somebody open up a dead body, right?
That's
These were
crazy.
cadavers that were gifted
Do they
for
do
medical
that now?
science. They do have these programs because they were teaching moments. So they had these cadavers of John Does or John Days or people that donate their body to science, and they, you know, that's how they would do it. So the scary part was you're watching this person be an autopsy. They're doing a live autopsy, and you're standing there watching them, right? At this point, my dad had just died, and I was kind of curious about, you know, how they determine how life is, how your life ended and stuff like that. So that's how this program started. Now, I was down the path of not going anywhere, didn't understand what I wanted to do in life. I really had no goals in life whatsoever.
No direction.
Exactly, no direction. I think I was stuck on the street, you know, just trying to figure it out. What am I going to do on this two-way street, right? And Dr. Lee, who was is world-renowned forensic scientist, was heading the program at the time. And he asked me, like, what are you going to do? What do you want to do in life? And at that point, I was like, I want to do what you do. He goes, you think you can handle this day in, day out? I was like, he told me, you know, what it...
Right.
He told me what it's about, and I was just like, I think I can. You know, I want to know how people died. Mm-hmm. It was intriguing to me. It was like fascinating.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Like for the first time in my life, I was excited. Like, wow. Like check this out. Like, you know, this is how you tell someone died when you cut their heart out or their liver or their kidneys. And you know the way he was cutting them up, and he let me cut up the heart and slice it up and into small parts, and he would put it on these glass trays, and then he would put a magnifying glass on you, and you know, and you're looking at all this stuff, and he's taking samples with tubes, and I'm just like, wow, like,
oh my God,
and then
man.
meanwhile, like I said, everybody in the corner just,
Yeah, they couldn't do it.
And no,
That would be
people
me in
like
the corner.
this, you know, and
Can't do it.
I'm like this, like all on the top of the body, like,
You were super
like,
interested.
yeah, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
what's up? So at that point, when he talked to me and everything, I kind of like, okay. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, I can't afford school, you know, like at that point, you know,
That's expensive.
I was in continuation. I about to
See,
graduate
school?
because I was doing
Yeah.
my, you know, I wanted to get the hell out of school.
Right.
And this is where I ended up in the Army. Was he gave me an option and said, hey, well, you're not doing good. You don't have money. Guess what? If you join the military, they pay for your school.
Oh, wow.
They give you a portion. to go
Light
to school.
bulb.
And you were with it.
Okay. He made some phone calls. I ended up talking to a recruiter. The recruiter came and talked to me, and he asked me some questions, and then they had me take this test. And lo and behold, I took the ASVAB test, and I qualified for certain things, right? You know, here's the gimme, right? At that point, it was like, okay, they were giving a $10,000 signing bonus. Now, back in 1990, 91, that $10,000 is a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially
That's a hell
to a
of a lot
little,
of money.
you know, 16,
nice
17-year-old. You're
bonus.
like, whoa, I'm coming up.
A
You know what
Chicano
I'm
from
saying?
Boyle Heights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know? So at this point, the conversations were had. My grandma had to sign some paperwork because I am an only child to my mom and dad. And I found the route to go to school. Mind you, I get into the Army and you know, first couple weeks is like, you know, you're doing boot camp, you're doing all this, and you got to learn the ins and outs of what you're supposed to do being in the Army. You know, it took a lot for me to listen to people yelling at me and telling me what I can and can't do.
Because the respect for authority thing.
Exactly. And as I'm in there, you know, they have these questions for you to answer. What do you want to do while you're in the service? And then they ask you, your MOS is what? What do you want to do? You want to work a mechanic? You want to be a gunner? You want to be, you know,
Aviation,
helicopter,
yeah.
you know, co-pilot or you know,
Dog
pilot.
handler, all
and
that.
they tell you what the ins and outs are of all this stuff. They're gonna tell you, well, you can do this, but you gotta have this behind your back. You know, now it's if you go to school before and then join the service, it's even better, right?
Right.
So at that time, they were like, well, if you do airborne school and you become a ranger, they pay your full ride.
Dang.
Wow.
No, that's a deal.
Ding. I can be a sneaky motherfucker.
Okay.
I used to do it back in the day, you know what I mean? Climbing in and out,
Yeah.
catching a spot or something, you know?
Right.
Okay, so I tried airborne school. Passed it, no problems. Ranger school, passed it, no problems.
Oh, wow.
So at this point, it's like, okay, well, they gave me another test. It was the ASVAB test again, just to kind of like get us an idea of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm a smart motherfucker because they gave me intelligence at that point.
Here's my question to you, because throughout your younger years, it seemed like you hated school. Like you didn't even want to deal with school. Like you just didn't want to do school, but yet you're a smart motherfucker.
I realized
Right.
school. When I went to school, I was getting good grades. I was very attentive. I was very good at math. Lo and behold, now I can't even count to 5 and shit something. But I was really good with math and computer science. Back in those days when
okay.
computers were first starting out.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Remember they had that computer science class?
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to learn how to do programming and all that. So I was like, that was my thing. Like back then I could do it on no problems. So when they finally gave me my MOS, which is 030 intelligence, can't talk about it because of the military act.
Yeah, of course.
But things I did had stemming from that. And then while I was on leaves here and there, I was going to school. So I was at Cal State LA. I got accepted. Did my 3 years at Cal State LA. At that point, in my 4th year, I transferred into UCLA. I got accepted for UCLA Medical. Did my school.
That's awesome.
At that
man.
point, it was like, okay. And I was doing this little by little.
Yeah.
By the time I finally came home, did my last TOD, I literally qualified to get apprenticeship in the coroner's office. I first started off in the morgue, and then I was working for a mortuary. So I was doing, you know, not autopsies. I was doing embalming and stuff like that because I had passed that with no problems. And it turned into one of those things where it was like I had my route set. I'm good to go. I know what I want to do. And finally got my doctorate. And it took a lot. It took a lot. Sacrifice. I sacrificed. I was working 2 jobs. I was taking care of my youngest daughter. And then at that point, it was like I literally was going to school.
So you had kids during this time too.
Yeah, I had my first, coming right out of high school, my oldest, with my high school sweetheart, you know. She didn't want to stick around. She said, "Hey, Rene, this is not what I want."
She didn't want to be a mom?
No, she wanted to be a mom, but
Just
she didn't
not
want to
in a
be in a relationship,
Okay.
worried about somebody, and thinking like, is this fool gonna come home? Like, this fool's
gotcha.
gone all the time. This fool's never. He can't tell me where he's going. Like, what's going on? And her dad had just got accepted to the University of Jacksonville, Florida, to be a professor. He was an archaeologist, is what he did.
Oh, okay.
From Belize originally.
Wow.
And he got his tenure at Jacksonville.
Okay.
So told the baby mom, hey, I'll take care of you. I got you. If you don't want to stay with here, you're welcome to come with us. And my daughter was like 2 months old.
Oh,
my
okay.
oldest.
Wow.
So at that point, it was like there was no. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get an opportunity.
So your daughter,
I'm a firm believer. Daughters belong with their moms.
So she ended up leaving with the mom.
She left.
then.
Yeah, she
Wow.
left. She took my daughter and didn't give me a say so on it, which
That sucks.
at that I was young. I still
course.
say to
How
this
old were
day-
you?
I had Brittany when I was 19.
Yeah, you're a baby.
Yeah,
I mean-
pretty much. And I mean, a super young father at that. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
didn't know what I was doing. I had no ambition of wanting to be in a family. I had no ambition of wanting to force her to stay and sacrifice with me because that's exactly what it was. It was me being selfish at that point and saying, hey, you're going to sacrifice with me. Fuck that.
right. And you were still in the army at the
But
time.
it didn't like in any way like
It
affect you.
affected
Like,
me.
damn,
It hurt.
like,
I mean, it
my
hurt. But I
baby.
mean, it's you tend to make these choices because you again. Now comes in where I say I was smart or I made a choice because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I was going to be able to pay for this. I didn't know how I was having a family. I'm not going to be able to do none of this stuff.
Right.
And it sounds like it's a dick move, but it wasn't. It was just me being smart because at the same time, she didn't want to stay. So I wasn't going to force her.
That's true.
And you can ask her to this day. She'll tell you she realizes she made the mistake of say not giving me an opportunity to be a dad.
to be a dad.
You know, and I sometimes I hold that against her.
Yeah.
But then it was like, the choices you make are the choices you make. You can't
how
you can't
long-
regret it.
How long were you without your daughter when they took off to Florida?
I didn't see my daughter again till she was 7 years old.
Oh man.
So here's
that's a long
here's the
time.
cycle.
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
My dad got locked up when I was
Yeah.
7. I didn't get to see her till she was 7. So
Wow, but you weren't even trying for that.
We would talk. We would talk, and she would tell me, Brittany's doing good, Brittany's doing this, and at that point it was like, I came home and leave one time, and that's when I had met the ex-wife, and it was just one of them drunken nights that you regret doing, and you got caught up in the situation,
Right.
and you having a baby with this chick that you don't even fucking know, and it just turned into one of those things, and I manned the hell up, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this again. I'm not going to lose another child, or I'm not going to abandon another child because that's how I felt I did before. And
But this time, this one stayed though, and the other one didn't flee all the way to the East Coast.
Exactly.
I mean,
but there was a lot more
that.
into it.
He's like, there's a lot more to it.
There's a lot more into it, but you know what it was is I was never home. I was always on the go.
Got it.
You know what I mean? I was always on the go, and I don't regret any moves I made. I know that I've made some bad choices in life.
Oh man.
But I don't regret none of them. You know why? Because they've taught me the valuable lessons, and they taught me who I am right now.
Today
is why I am who I am today.
Yeah.
That makes sense the way I said it. But again, it's one of those situations where it's like you got to go through these things, man. You got to really like
life
You
experiences.
got to fail
for sure
more than anything to be a strong-minded person that can be like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can take that obstacle and I can flip it around. And I can
sure.
run through circles with you. And you're looking at me the whole time like, fuck is this dude on?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, yo, you haven't walked a mile in my shoes. You haven't walked 5 seconds in my shoes. And trust me, anytime you go get caught up in something I've done, I've already gone through it.
How long were you in the Army for?
Give or take about 13 plus years.
Wow.
I was trying to go full 20, but the thing is I got wounded, I got hit, and I had to take a medical discharge.
Got it.
So I have a honorable medical discharge.
So you toured. You toured.
I did quite a few tours. Again, there's certain things that I'm not allowed to say just because of who I worked with and what I worked with.
Classified.
A lot of it was.
Yeah.
There's two or three things that were declassified, but it's still kind of fucking embarrassing to talk about just because you're like, you don't realize the shit that you're doing because you're doing it for God and country, right? But then it turns into one of those situations where it's like,
yeah, a lot of
what a pendejo I was, for listening and shit.
just
like
that. Yeah, well,
That's
you were
what
still
I
young
said.
and still doing your thing, but at least you went out there, man. Thanks for your service.
Yeah, of
because
course.
that's
Thank you.
huge.
Appreciate
like
everything you did.
I always say, don't thank me. Thank my brothers and sisters that never made it back.
Yeah,
That's
that
too.
too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that Veteran Day is coming up. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm gonna pay homage to the people that did not make it back.
I like that.
And a lot of people don't realize is that we do things, and the reasons we choose have to be the reasons we choose. So there's no way of saying, hey man, I'm pissed off because I should have done this, or I'm pissed off because I should have done that. there's so much red tape behind a lot of stuff, and you know why we're always in some kind of situation or some type of nonsense. Truth be told, because we follow our leadership.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
We follow leadership. We're told to do something.
For other people.
You think like with all the stuff that's going on right now, all the National Guard that's doing what you think they want to be doing some of the stuff they're doing? No. But they have to follow rules.
They have to follow rules.
You got to follow the rules.
Those are the orders.
About it. And exactly, those orders are given. You've got to do what you
got
to
do.
And
it
it sucks because so many people can turn around and walk away from it. But it's like, yo, what's going to happen? I have a cousin who joined the army and he AWOL'd. To this day, he's locked up. But the tonto had an opportunity, but he AWOL'd and he didn't want to go back. And I used to tell him, like, I'm stupid, you know.
How many tours did you do?
Couple, 3, couple 5.
Couple
5.
I was at the end of There's a Storm in the beginning of Enduring Freedom.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
There's the 2 wars that I went to. There's some things, again, I'm not allowed to say, but I've done quite a few.
Do you ever talk about it? Like, I mean, obviously I'm not right now, but like, I mean, just with that, let's say with your wife or like
my moments.
family.
Like I have my moments. I stay quiet for a lot of it because a lot of stuff, if I was to tell my wife some of the shit I did,
right?
She already knows I'm a monster. She already knows I'm a knucklehead. Imagine me telling her some of the shit I did.
Right.
She's gonna look at me with different eyes.
Of course.
Anybody you tell about the shit you do.
I've noticed that there is a lot of veterans that served in the military, probably did their own little 1 or 2 tours, and they don't really talk about much.
Not
they don't
much.
like to
different
talk
branches.
about it.
Different branches will do what they got to do, and the reason why we don't talk about it is because some things
better left unsaid.
They're better left unsaid, and no disrespect again to anybody that's ever put on the uniform.
No, I respect.
You'll see the pain in their eyes.
Oh yeah.
You'll understand the pain when they start to talk about it. They kind of like they hesitate. The reason why they're hesitating is because they don't want to relive that moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Truth, that's the fucking truth. And this is just advice for anybody. You trying to force them to talk, they're not gonna talk.
Right.
They're not gonna say nothing.
My grandfather served in the Navy, and one time, it was like holiday, right? We're right in the middle of Christmas, and he served. He served World War. He served 2 wars, and he was also that kind of guy that kind of just shut everything down. I don't talk about this, right? But one Christmas, man, he was just lit up the stove with the eggnog and the whiskey, and that guy was flowing
when they talk,
in the wrong time.
When they're talking and you hear them and you can see you can see the tears in their eyes, you can see the pain.
It hurt me to hear him do that.
But that's when they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think I've done it with her, my wife, where she's like, she hears me out and I'm talking about something and it's like she realizes like, oh shit, and that's when I'm probably drunk or something. I feel vulnerable at that point. I feel pain. I've got to sleep with those demons every night. Everything I've ever done in my life, I have to take that with me.
That's a form of PTSD, right?
Exactly.
Of course it is.
Right.
And that's the thing is a lot of people don't realize this. And this is where I'm a big advocate in regards to helping people that have gone through it, and PTSD is crazy for anybody. It's just, anybody's traumatic situations, it will cause you to have a moment and you're going to have those moments. It's going to break you down.
Yeah.
The problem is that the way you break down. There's been times where I'm okay. I'm good. Next thing you know, I'm flipping the fuck out. I'm on a good one, like I just can't take the pain because it eats you up inside emotionally. And you, again, here we go. We went from my childhood of not being loved, not being feeling like you're wanted.
Right.
And then you go into this world of you're wanted for one reason. To do what you're told to do. I don't care what you're doing, how bad you're hurt, you get your ass up that hill.
And do it. Yep.
Overcome that obstacle. Overcome and achieve your goal. Oh, that sounds easy, right?
Yeah, not much.
Later on down the line, as you start to get older, these when the memories start to come in. I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of the stuff I blacked out and I keep quiet for a reason.
Right.
Because I know for a fact I will scare the shit out of some people. They're gonna look at me and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this?"
Yeah. But that's what you experienced.
You did.
That was what you saw.
And that's some of the things that once I never really understood it until I actually finally met my wife's grandfather who served Vietnam, Marine veteran, and he oh my God, some of the stories that he's laid out, I'm just like, I can only imagine the people that were probably with them And he told us that there were certain people, some of his brothers, that they took their own lives because the trauma that they went through, all the traumatic experiences, getting shot at while they're inside this little like just hole that they had to dig in while there's bullets flying, grenades getting shot at. They're sleeping in this little thin, I guess for lack of a better, just a road, but it's raining, and at the same time there's these snakes and everything, and that's just a minimal that he was telling us.
You don't ever want to wish that type of nightmare on anybody, because those guys got it the worst. Number one, we're fighting in a war that no one actually to this day still don't know what the hell we were fighting for, right? They came home. People thought of them like nothing. People didn't have parades for them. People didn't respect them. People would look at them and they came home mentally. We were not prepared.
And a lot of those were the ones that ended up homeless.
Exactly. We were not prepared for that war. And the worst part about it is you could talk to any veteran from that era and they'll tell you the crazy shit. Marines had it worse. Army was there first part of that war. Army went in. They were not able to do anything. They pulled them out quicker than shit and said, you know what, we're going to send Marines in. And Marines were sent in for one reason, to destroy.
Yeah, that's it.
We wanted that land. Why we wanted that land? I still don't know to this day. I think it was probably for oil or something. Who knows what it was for? But I mean, you could go back and you can hear all the history part of it. Any war we've ever been in, it's been for greed. Resources. For money, resources. Yeah. Because we want it. We're the bigger guys on the block. Yeah. If I had to do it again, I'd do it again. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But
that's cool, though. I mean,
here's the thing. You got a kid who all he's ever known was gang violence, mafiosos, drug life, slanging, doing whatever it took to survive. And you put him in those elements, I was top notch. I was at it. I was running and gunning, doing my thing. And I'd get in and out of problems. No worries. Never got scared. I would dig a hole and sleep in the hole, cover myself up with dirt. No problems. I was grimy. I was gritty. I was ready to rock and roll until I started getting deeper into it. I started realizing, mentally, this is some shit I got to deal with. And as I got older, some of my childhood traumas would come following alongside with that stuff. Because, you picking up a gun and shooting somebody that you don't know.
Man, that's got to be life-changing.
Like that'll have anybody flipping the hell out. Yeah. And then you give a gun to a kid that all he's never known was death. Hell, I almost lost my life to gun violence. I saw fools get shot in the face in the parque, at an early age. You know what I mean? Like that's part of life, right?
Right.
Getting shot at while you're walking down the street, that's a part of life. Here I am doing it.
In someone else's turf.
Someone else's fucking backyard.
Right.
Forgotten country.
Right.
Forgotten country.
You sound just like my grandfathers, both of them. Both of them were
and here it is.
Service guys.
You're now getting older and you're now realizing that, what the fuck am I doing? Do I really want to go to school? Do I really need this shit? I took it out. I toughed it out.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do to survive. I would come home and do my thing and then take off again. And they always say this one thing. You leave what you can behind you. Not everybody's able to do that. I was one of those guys that could. I still to this day can't do that. I can't leave behind what I fucking started back then. I can't leave behind what I went through back then. From my childhood up to now, it's haunted me. And it sucks. It really does suck because you're this little kid that just wants to be loved. You want people to give you attention. That's why you think I like now, ooh, I show a picture and people like it. Like, yeah, I got attention. Cool. But it's because I realized life is going to throw whatever it throws at you.
Right.
How you pick yourself up and how you move forward is what defines who you truly are. I've been through the worst of the worst. I've been homeless. I've had no money in my pocket. I've been hungry for days on end. I've been in different parts of the world in a hole, sleeping. You think I don't know what homeless means? You think I don't know what not having responsibility means? I've been there. I've avoided some of those things for a reason. I avoided love. I mean, it was hard for me and my wife sometimes for her to be able to express herself, and then I'm just like, fuck that shit. I don't want to deal with this shit, and I'm out of here.
No me toques.
Would you say that was life or the inspiration behind you changing your life overall? Like just because
I always wanted to do something differently with my life, and I realized that I needed to be the person to push myself. And there was times where I couldn't push myself.
So when you say you wanted to change yourself, so after the military, how did photography kick in for you in your life?
Yeah, because now you're like this world famous photographer.
I'm not famous at all.
Right?
You know, you asked me a very important question. When did photography kick in?
Yeah, world famous.
I've always done photography.
World
I've always
famous.
loved photography. You want to know what? I honestly, as a young age, I wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a graffiti artist.
Hence the graffiti.
I wanted to be a top-notch graffiti artist. You know, I wanted to be world-renowned.
Chaka, bro.
Bigger than fucking Chaka. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean?
Hopes.
Shout out to Chaka. Yeah, I wanted to be like Hopes and Shine 47. You know what I mean? Worldwide. You know, shout out to Chaka. I'm just messing around. I you know, I didn't know what I was doing. I came home not right. I'll give you guys a little insight what happened. I came home and I caught my ex-wife in bed with some other dude.
Oh hell,
Bro.
So that's where. Now here goes.
I'm sorry. That's just
I'm
reminding
not
me.
gonna
right now-
edit that. That
That's
hurts
just
me.
reminding me of that movie Jarhead. Have you watched Jarhead?
Everybody has that same story, and I swear to God, I think.
Are you serious?
I've talked to probably 15 vets. Out of the 15 vets that I've talked to, 8 of them have said the same story.
Way.
Because women, and I'm not disrespecting
That's a
any
fucked
women.
up stat, bro.
What happens is people sometimes insecurities kick in, and when insecurities kick in, guess what happens? They look for attention the same way.
Oh,
Same way I
yeah.
was looking for attention, same way someone else is going to be looking for attention.
Fill the void.
Women want attention too. And when you don't give them attention, mind you, the ex-wife didn't understand what I was doing. I was trying to set me into a mold where she didn't have to worry about shit.
Right.
We had just purchased the house. We had a brand new vehicle. I was working 2 jobs. And on top of that, I was going to school. And I was back and forth on leaves. So I came home, last TOD. I came home. It was Mother's Day. I shit you not. Everybody was having a party. I forgot what was going on at my grandma's house. And she lived at Downey at the time. I jumped the fence and surprised everybody. I went to go see my mom and my grandma first. And I didn't tell her that I was home yet.
This is on Mother's Day, dude?
Yeah.
At your grandma's pad?
Yeah. No, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So at this point, I said, what's up? And then I told my mom, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go home. Okay. I'll see you guys later. You know, I'm good. I'm safe. You know, I'm okay. You know, nobody got to worry about me. I'm home now. I'm good. I called a taxi. Jumped in the taxi, took me home.
Pre-Uber?
It was pre-Uber.
Sorry.
Way fucking pre-Uber. Back then, we still had the taxis. We had the taxistas, you know,
I had
Mexican
to,
ones,
sorry.
the gypsy taxis. And I went home. And as I got home, I opened the door. My daughter's downstairs because we had a 2-story house.
Oh, and then your daughter was there.
She's downstairs playing. And I hear noises. I'm like, what's that? As I go up the stairs, louder and louder. And I hear the dude, you know, fucking saying whatever. I don't remember what the fuck happened at that point.
The whole spread, man.
I'm going to be honest with you. I fucking was blacking out at the time. I was ready to fucking do something.
Yeah, you're going to hurt somebody.
I walked in, and as I'm walking in, the door's like halfway is open, and he's just pile driving her, and I'm fucking walking in, and I walk straight to my gun cabinet.
What?
And instead of causing any problems, any drama or whatever, I fucking emptied out. Back then, they still had the green bag. So I emptied out my green bag. I opened up the gun cabinet. I think I made some noise. They heard me, and they turned around both scared shitless. I loaded my bag full of guns that I had, guns that I was collecting, my grandfather's guns that I had. And turned around, she's your problem now. And I was walking out. As I'm walking out, she fucking started talking shit and acting like if she was
like
you know?
if she was
Like you're wrong.
She like, you know, it's all my fault that you went and go fuck some other dude.
Right.
And at that point, it was
At
like
my place. Our.
That I paid
in
for.
my bed.
With my kids.
Yeah, in my
down
house
there.
that I'm paying for. In my
Leaving
bed.
your little girl downstairs while you're getting.
So at that point, it's like, you know, like, what do you do? Tell me what you do. You know what I did? Turned around and walked away. My mom taught me a valuable lesson. Gracias a Dios.
Yeah.
Gracias
And
a
he
Dios,
already
my
had
mom-
the guns around too.
My mom taught me a valuable lesson. too many women out there.
It's true, man.
You know that song, "Bitches Ain't Shit" by Dog Pound?
Yep.
That's the reason why I lived the life I lived afterwards. Where I just didn't.
Plenty of fish in the sea, man.
Too many.
Yeah.
Why am I gonna fight over one? Especially one that decided she didn't want to be around.
I think also you probably could have told the guy, if she did this to me,
What do you think she's gonna do to you?
See, that point.
But I'm just saying.
You know,
like,
you just come home.
but it was on Mother's Day. I'm still just
You're in the back.
stunned by the
back
fact.
of your head. You're like, I can kill this motherfucker, no problem. I can kill both of them, no problems, and I can get
You
away
just
with
got back.
Because here's what I'm learning to be a forensic scientist.
Oh,
right?
that's true.
I can.
Yeah,
get
You're
rid of
trying to
bodies.
set up your future.
You have
I
too
can get
much
rid
to
of-
lose.
I can get rid of the bodies with no problems.
Exactly.
No one's gonna catch me. Ain't gonna be no forensic science, no forensic
Yeah.
fucking evidence anyway.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You know. But
Your
you said it best.
composure.
You said it best. I have too much to fucking lose.
Yeah.
Your
So you know
composure
what I
got
did?
the best.
Back then, remember that the Nextel. There was still
yeah.
Nextel.
Yep.
Like the very first stages of Nextel. I had the Nextel my mom had given me. She gave it to me. She's like, here, mijo, you can call me or whatever. I have, it was for Chato, but I'll get Chato another one. My stepfather. And I was like, okay, mom, thanks. At least I got a phone now. I can call whoever I need to call or whatever. And I chirped my mom, come pick me up, please. And she's like, why? And I was like, I just caught this bitch with some other dude in my bed.
Oh my
She's like,
God.
what? And I said, yeah. And I was like, okay, mom, just come pick me up, mom, before fucking something happens. My daughter comes running outside, and I'm sitting on the steps.
No way,
And,
dude.
At this point, it's like all chaos is breaking off. He's walking out, but he's scared because he knows that I'm strapped up now. And my daughter's sitting next to me, and I'm hugging her because she hasn't seen me. And daddy, daddy, and she's barely learning how to talk. And
How old
she's
was she?
wobbling. Honestly, I can't remember. I think she's probably about 4 years old,
4.
4 or 5. 2. Wait, yeah, right. 6. Huh? How?
4? She was still 4 years old.
4 years old. 4 years old. So at this point, it's like,
Pre-K.
I'm in a
vulnerable position.
I'm in a spot where it's like, exactly, I'm vulnerable,
yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like,
I could get this motherfucker right here.
God, man.
But then your
what
daughter's
was
right
going
there.
through my head, I'm gonna tell you what was going through my head was I had just spent a year of rehabilitation. I had just gotten released after being declassified, after being wounded. I was thinking. I was thinking. I was using my motherfucking head.
Well, thank God you were, because you
I
could
was-
have overreacted.
I could have
Oh,
been
yeah.
like every other story you've heard. Because if you look up some criminal cases, a lot of dudes that came home catching their lady, what happens?
That's
Nah,
it.
that's
Black
where,
out.
You know what I mean? And I'm telling you that I don't know what it was. To this day I still don't know what it was. Knock on wood. That I realized that route I chose was the
Right.
smartest fucking route I could ever choose.
Oh man, but
My mom showed
that's
up.
so bad that it happened to you, man.
My mom showed up. Her mom and dad showed up, and her mom and dad were going crazy with me. And her dad was a veteran. Her dad was a Marine veteran from Vietnam. And I was like, of all people who should feel what I'm going through, you're defending her
yeah.
because she's your daughter. I get it, but your daughter's being a fucking hoe. She's being a fucking trampa. What the fuck do you want me to do? You want me to
Not
fucking
only
stay
that,
here?
she left her little kid downstairs or wherever.
While she went up there,
while she was doing her thing
I knew
upstairs.
I knew I was in a bad relationship to begin with.
And
She
then
was-
on Mother's Day,
So mind you, I left. A week later, I got a lawyer. I did a fast removal of my name off the deed.
Yeah.
I gave it to her. I didn't fight for nothing. I didn't want nothing. I left my clothes.
You were done.
I was fucking literally with nothing except for my fucking guns.
Yeah.
damn.
And my mom said, "Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. That's gonna be all right." My mom had never been like there, but the times that she was there, she'd give me some smartest fucking advice ever.
That part is cool then.
So it fucked me up. It did fuck me up. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Did you look to photography as an outlet for some of that?
I was at that point. I was back to writing poems. That's where the poet
Poet.
theme comes from.
Okay, because I was gonna ask that. I'm like,
So I started writing poems, and I was dark poems. They were very, very
Okay.
dark poems.
Well, you're in
But
a dark time.
I was also going to school, so I was studying, and I took Chicano studies as an
Mm-hmm.
elective because I needed some kind of elective to help me, with all the other stuff I was doing. And I started reading the teachings of Nes Cotale.
That's how you say it then.
It's
Because
Nes
I have
say that one more time.
Say it, go ahead.
Nes Cotalea.
Nes Cotalea.
Netzahualcoyotl.
I say Nes Cotalea.
Oh, okay.
That's why it comes out of my mouth because I can't say that shit right there because I don't know what it is.
I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly.
I don't know what it is, pero cuando empiezo a hablar en español se me atoran las palabras.
Se te tuerce la
That's how
lengua.
you would
And
say it.
literally, the vowels and the pronunciation. I think that Tex-Mex that I was taught.
When we were when we were
at that point.
we were talking and I wrote that out for him. He goes, "What the hell is that?"
I'm like, why are you writing that?
That's what he said, the Poet King, and that's why I wanted to write it out.
I started reading these books and I started reading teachings, and a lot of stuff was stemming from his visions, and he would speak to his people, and the way he ruled was through his visions, and visions were words, and they were flowing like poetry, and I started like thinking like, I can do this, you know. And
right.
I was in a bad place, and I started writing poetry, and then I started picking up my cameras, and I was like, I'll take a picture here, I'll take a picture there, but I never really like thought about it.
Yeah.
But I was collecting a lot of stuff. I remember I was writing poems when I first met my wife. Now, you know, I'll write her a poem. She like, oh, you know, he lets me write a poem, and then I was taking pictures.
She's all laughing in the background.
I was taking pictures.
She's blushing too.
I know.
I was taking pictures.
She's always hot in here. Can you guys open the window? Jeez.
I was taking pictures, but I wasn't posting them. And that was the time. That was the time when MySpace.
Oh, nice.
So I was doing things with the pictures and shit like that, and I was like, oh, I can create this art. And I would take pictures of the graffiti I was writing on the books and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
At this point, I started to focus like what I need to do next.
Right.
What am I gonna do next? And that's when I was like, I need to fucking go to school. And job is important, you know. I kept the one job, and the funny thing was, my ex-wife worked at the mortuary I worked at, so we would run into each other. So I ended up staying at the one mortuary in East LA, which is the one that's off of Whittier and Downey Road.
How long did you work in the mortuary?
Oh man.
Damn. That long.
I was working at Home Depot too.
Oh, so you were double hustle and the school.
I was working at Home Depot and I was going to school, and like I said, I was working 2 jobs.
Damn,
I was working in the mortuary. I was excuse me.
You're good. Dude, this guy was hustling, man. We were just kicking back, just like whatever, you know. And he already been to the army and did way more.
I was working night shift as I would restock the shelves.
Okay.
At Home Depot, and then daytime go to school, and then I had the mortuary job. Damn. You know, where I'd pick up dead bodies every now and then or something, or I'd be doing the embalming and stuff like that, doing funerals. I'd be a funeral director, and when I left, I didn't know where the fuck I was gonna go. I didn't know what I was gonna do. And for a while, I was just sleeping at the morgue. You know, like sleeping at the mortuary. Like, you know, like fuck it, I'm just
in a casket.
Yeah,
I was sleeping in the casket. You know, here and there. Like they're comfortable, believe it or not. I was staying at friends' houses. You know, I was staying here and there.
I know.
I don't know how comfortable that could be.
They're actually pretty comfortable.
He slept in holes.
I slept in holes, bro. Like, come on, the springs, like they would help your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was that was my part of art that I was doing. I was writing a lot of poetry. And at the time, taking pictures wasn't my priority. I wasn't taking a lot of pictures, but I was taking pictures here and there, but I wasn't really taking pictures. Fast forward. I started to realize, okay, I gotta find somewhere to stay. You know, so my uncle opened up the door for me. Said, you can stay with me. You know, blah blah. Back in those days, it was kind of cool. You know what I mean? I would come and go. I'd do my thing. I really didn't have anything that was mine, like ownership wise. Like I didn't own anything. Like I barely had a car. You know, I think for a long time I didn't have a car either because it was like couldn't afford anything. I gave up everything over here. Like, what am I gonna do now? I just kind of like was trying to find my spot, and then finally, pictures were coming and going, but it wasn't like the pictures that you would think. It was pictures of just like animals or pictures of locations like rocks and stuff like that. And then I started going out with my uncle, and he, like I said, he spent his whole adolescent life in prison, and for him, every fucking Friday was like, hey, mijo, we're going to the hop. We're the hop. The hop. And I'm
Ball
like,
Park?
I'd be like, yeah. So I'm looking at him like, I was like,
industry.
And I would look at him like, and at that time I had a little Honda. I remember because I used to know how to, you know, to race these little cars and shit. And I had a little Honda, and then I had a track car, and it was funny because I was going through my divorce and I was doing all this shit, you know, and I was just doing me. I was just having fun. I was out late at night watching the races in the streets and shit, street races, you know, stuff like that. And I was trying to find my bearings, and at that point, I ended up leaving the mortuary. I got accepted, and I was working to get myself into the coroner's office, and I was becoming morbid.
Oh,
I was in a bad place.
Damn.
I was in a bad place, and I gave up my internship at the LA County Coroner's Office. because
is it just because you went into this
I
dark?
started, because I started back spiraling.
Right.
To just go back to like when I was a teenager, not giving a fuck, and to hell with authority. I didn't want to care about this. I think I was driving dirty for like 2 years. I didn't have a license, this and that.
Damn.
I didn't want to go get a license. I didn't want to do this. And
Oh, you wild.
I was wilding out.
Yeah,
I was
you were.
wilding out. And then
That's crazy.
I met the love of my life at the Hop, and
Ooh, that went down at the Hop?
Are we
went down
talking
at the
about
Hop.
Latica?
All right.
Yeah. We ain't gonna say no names because you know what I'm saying. my wife's here. No, I'm just joking. My wife.
Damn, dude, I'm trying to blow out the lid, bro.
I was headed down the wrong path. I was headed down the wrong path big time. And it's funny because at that point my stepbrother had just passed away, and I was like, damn, it kind of took me there.
Took you down.
Took me down.
Mm-hmm.
I was really at rock bottom. And that's when I had met, my wife Cindy at the Hop, and it's funny how you get that woman that kind of
sticks it to you and makes sure you stay.
Like, she reminded me of my mom.
Ground you a little bit. Like, just come on, man. Just
and
keep
then
it
I
level.
started realizing, like, yo, what the fuck am I doing, man? What's going on? And I picked up a camera again, trying to take pictures, and I started taking pictures, but I was archiving a lot of stuff. And I was taking pictures of, the homies, or taking pictures of this, or taking pictures of that. But I was archiving so much that I didn't know what to do with them. And at that time, I was just doing me, right? And I got into the trades. It's a funny story how you flip the script and you get into the trades. And
actual trading or
no trades, construction and stuff like that.
Oh,
like
okay.
welding, and I was working in the refineries.
Oh.
I went from cutting people up and learning how they fucking died
wow.
to going and telling people how to behave, and so they don't end up on that slab.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a drastic 360.
Huh.
Like, stop and think about that.
Saving lives instead of
So
meeting them.
here I am down this path, and I'm like, what am I gonna do in my life? All right, let me just run with it. I'm running with it. And I was trying to be, a good guy, and then me and my wife now, we had our differences, and we went our separate ways. As we went our separate ways, it kind of affected me as well because of the way things went down. And then I learned how to recope, how to reevaluate everything I was doing. And man, what are you doing? Like, are you back to where you started at? This is what you want to do in life?
Yeah.
No. So at that point, I was like, all right. So I started taking more pictures, and I started keep writing poetry and drawings, and I think I've got books and stuff like that of stuff just filled with words. And
Speaking of a book, but you have a really good book that's out too.
yeah, my photography book I
Your
dropped it this year.
photography-
Yeah, that
yeah.
was 30 years in the making, And so it's like I was taking pictures in the Army. I was doing this, but a lot of that stuff got confiscated because they don't let you take nothing home, especially when it has to do with classified stuff.
Oh wow.
I was taking pictures throughout the years, but I wasn't taking pictures. You know what I mean?
Got it.
And then, fast forward 2015, I got sent to Cheyenne, Wyoming because I was doing a good job, made a name for myself in the safety world, and they needed some help out there because they were having incidents every week. So I went out there to redirect them and rechange them. I picked up my camera, and I was taking more pictures than I probably have ever in my life. Where I was Cheyenne, Wyoming, I was at in Utah, I was in Denver, Colorado, I'd be in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota. I was capturing shots, like I have crazy shots, and it's just like all this time I've been holding, and I was like, okay. And then Instagram comes around, so I started trying to post things on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the pictures were getting like 1,000 likes a day or something like that, because it was like crazy shots, buffalo in the wild and shit, or dude just standing on the side of the road, broken down in a Chevy truck or something, like black and white shot, and it was like boom, like it was crazy.
Most of your stuff is black and white.
Black and white, yeah.
But two pieces that you've done that I've seen that I really like is there's a lowrider in front of the San Vicente Bridge. Is it I don't know, maybe I got the bridge wrong, but there's a lowrider. It's coming up a little bit, and then there's just a badass shot. And then there's another shot that you have that has like a cloudy backdrop of downtown LA, and it's color. And I've seen it. Is that look there, right there? Like, check this out. I don't know which bridge it is. Maybe I got the bridge wrong, but that's a badass shot, and that's not black and white.
That's the St. Thomas Bridge, yeah, the Vincent St. Thomas Bridge.
Vincent St. Thomas. There we go. I said it wrong.
So that shot, I always shot color, but I started experimenting more with black and white. And then when you buy the film, I was still shooting film because I had stolen that camera, and that's the one thing I probably had ever since I was a teenager. That camera ran with me, and the film was the time was so easy to get. You know, you go still film, like no problem.
And this was the other one that I was looking at too. And you know, we of course, you know,
that
that's
shot. So that shot happened right after it started raining. It had just finished raining, and I was on the 101 freeway. You know, the interchange that goes from the 60 and the 5 to the 101.
Oh yeah.
And curves around right on First Street. Right, that shot I was taking right on First Street. Right off the freeway, I stopped. I jumped the fuck out of my truck, and I got to the back bed of the truck, and I took the picture.
You do a lot of LA stuff.
Quick
too.
question. I know you. So probably just a stupid question to ask, but at some point you had said you were writing dark poetry, right?
Yeah.
And then when that breakup happened, you said you somehow picked up photography, started writing poetry, and started reading books. Was that poetry still dark, or was it?
It was about lost love. It was about.
So it wasn't as dark though.
It wasn't as dark.
You changed it up.
It was about more about the like. When you go through a bad breakup, especially after coming off of a relationship that was like torture, right? You're coming out of a relationship that was like so bombarded with hate, and you come into this light of where you're catching your supposedly loved one with some other dude, supposedly the woman who loves you, and she's taking all your money and she's taking all this stuff from you, and it's like, what do I get in return? Shitted on, right? At that point,
Blackheart.
And I was, like I said, I became morbid. I was being morbid. I was lost. I literally was lost. That's why the City of Lost Souls. That's where I get that name from.
Got it.
You know, it's always been with me since my mom and dad, and it turned into one of the situations. Like I said, I was trying to find my way. So when I broke up with my wife now, at the time, I was lost and I was trying to find my way back. And my stepbrother's death gave me light. It gave me opportunity. It gave me understanding that throughout my entire life, all I have ever done was lose somebody close to me, and it was hurtful. And I started to have moments of clarity, and just like, you know, I gotta, what am I gonna do with myself, man? And here I am, fast forward track now. COVID is about to hit. Right before COVID hit, I'm shooting like crazy in East LA. I'm shooting like crazy in the streets.
A lot of LA stuff.
I'm capturing moments that you have no idea how I got. Jesus Christ, what the hell am I doing on top of this roof trying to capture that shot, you know?
That's awesome.
But I went back to the teenage years of running with the neighborhood and then with the graffiti. I took that back and I started to remember what I was doing. And at that point, my daughter, the youngest one, was like all over the place, and she was giving me the most hardest times ever. And I was trying my best to be a father. I always try to be a good father. And I started to feel that pain again, but I started to feel that pain with my shots. And people were like, yo, and I gave a huge shout out to at the time, he was my cousin's man, Beto. He was like, yo, Rene, what's this? And he pulled out this laptop I had just sitting there, and it was a hard drive, was what it was, just full of pictures. And I was like, oh, my pictures, want to see? And I would show him all these pictures, and the pictures, you know, we're talking about 20 years prior. And he's like, where'd you take this picture? I was like, oh, that's when I was in Utah. Where'd you take this picture? Oh, that was in, Jesus Christ, where the hell was I? It was like San Diego or something. It was like just a shot of a rose. And there was a picture, there was one picture in particular, it was two bulls in Estes Park, Colorado. They were fighting, you know, one of those National Geographic moments.
Yeah.
Wow.
That shot was so clear that he was like, dude, why don't you post this stuff? I was like, you serious? Like, nobody want to see that shit. Like, nobody cares about this. Bro, post it. Fools want to see this stuff, man. And I was looking at him the whole time, and I'm just like, like, you know, like, you know.
No one's going to do that.
Like, you know, nobody's damn.
Yeah.
Like, now I want to publish this poetry book. Like, that's my goal. But, you know, we got drunk one night, and we were talking, and he's like, Rene, make that fucking Instagram. He pushed me. And you know what? That's what made
I'm glad he did.
That's what made me want to show my work. That's what made me want to go out there and try. And at the time, COVID hit. So there were people doing things on Instagram and showing it. And I was like, I was trying to do that. And it was like, it wasn't artistic to me. It was like, I was like, that's not art. That's not art. So I was like, I wasn't feeling it. But then I started to do things differently. I started to showcase this, started showcasing that. And I think I pushed it hard on Instagram that I got like 10,000 followers. One morning, I remember I posted a picture of the two bombas on Whittier Boulevard, underneath the Whittier Boulevard sign. And I don't know.
Is that one of the pictures that you sent me?
I think so.
I saw that one on Voyage LA too.
Yeah,
though.
that's the one. That one made me famous. Voyage LA picked me up afterwards, and they wanted to do the interview with me, and it was like, wow, okay, like people really do want to see my shit, right?
Yeah, I got something
So
here.
it was kind of cool. But I started to look at other people's work, and that's what I started like. I would look at like Merrick Morton's, look at Stevan's, you know, I would look at Julia Dean, you know, Rock Brock. I forget. I always say his name wrong. Very famous photographer to the elite artists in New York and stuff like that. And I would follow these people and I'd watch their stuff and I'm like, oh, that's badass, you know?
Right.
So I started wanting to do creative stuff. I started like, I want to do it this way though. I saw what, you know, Stevan was doing, or I saw what Merrick was doing, or Los Angeles Deftones, or Cisco. I saw what they were doing, but I was just like, I could do something like that, but different. I'm gonna flip the switch on it. I'm gonna add some Chicanoism to it, you know. I want the Dia de los Muertos paintings on it. It's, you know, I started thinking machismoism with it, you know, and I started, I want to showcase my culture. That's what I'm gonna do.
You won something though recently, and you were talking. You said Dia de los Muertos, right? And you have you're an award-winning, obviously.
I'm a group of award-winning.
World
renowned.
World renowned. You're world renowned. They're group award-winning. How about that?
I had this crazy.
But we
idea
have
stuck in my
that
head.
we have that video, right? And then you showed us it. Man, the work is crazy good on it, and your idea. We're gonna show it real quick. I think Andy Q had it. You sent it over to us, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna go through it with you while you're here, which is even better because now we got you here.
So I called up my boy Zuela, and this is the intro to it. I told him what I wanted to do. I had this crazy idea, and he literally understood what I wanted. And I took him in a direction, and we went there.
Okay.
And I had this company, Summit Lowrider Hats, was already sending me hats, and I'm proud to say that they sponsor me. Shout out to Summit Lowrider Hats.
Oh yeah,
You know
shout
what I
out,
mean?
yeah, give
to
them all
King
the
Tao,
love.
you know what I mean? Shout out to them. I'm always wearing fedoras. That was my thing, and I had told him I want to do a video shoot with your fedoras. Are you down? He then told me he had these zoot suits that he was coming out with, and I said, send them to me.
No way.
I said, I got something for you. I got this idea. I got this crazy idea. We're gonna do a type of lowrider shoot that no one's probably done, where we literally have a vato wearing Day of the Dead with the zoot
Yeah,
suits.
Cubano, bro.
So play the video. You'll see it.
This is the video right here.
This is the video right here. Shout out to Zuela and Emiliano.
This is dope.
Oh, Emiliano was in here too?
Yeah.
Is this on YouTube? Right? That's pretty cool. So the stills, a lot of the stills are you?
Yeah.
And
So
these
are
zoot
the
suits,
zoot suits are the ones that they
that's
provided.
what they sent. They provided those. The same ones that provided your hat too. Yeah, this is dope. Where was it? All of it was filmed in LA?
All of Los Angeles, Boyle Heights, and downtown LA.
Damn.
And this is the homegirl Luna, and my nephew Joey.
That's your nephew?
That's my
your
nephew.
nephew?
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Okay.
Amy Marie, and that's Tanya Estrada. She's a comedian.
Oh, really?
damn.
Yeah,
Hey, we need a female comedian in here.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's her.
Okay.
So the basic concept was love and lost. This is where these ideas came from, and like they're together, and the flashbacks are of them, you know, living life, and then you saw the two ladies with the makeup passing by their death, and he's
okay.
now dead. So now she's remembering all the good times. So it's just the concept. It was just a crazy idea that I had in my head. You see,
So the man is dead?
he's dead.
Okay.
Right. And that's when the painted face or
So
the
these are the memories that she's remembering.
Right.
prior
So
to.
prior to him dying.
That,
So it's just the concept that we came
that's
up
dope.
with.
That is
And I
dope.
had this envision as a photo shoot, originally just with the Dia de los Muertos and the suits, and I took it to the next level and decided to create this. So shout out to Eastside Bombas. They brought all their bombs out and we did it. You know what I mean?
An East Los tale. And then here's the roll cred.
And East Los.
East Los. Yeah.
East Los.
And East Los. Emiliano. That's Emiliano.
Yeah, that's Emiliano,
All
man.
right. And Cindy.
Produced by
Yeah,
Emiliano.
That's what's up.
She was help. She was all,
Okay.
she had a lot to do with the ideas. See some hats and you know what I mean? It was one of those things. We went to Los Angeles Theater, Mariachi Plaza.
Bam. Yo, that's a good piece, man. Congratulations. That's
yeah,
amazing.
congrats, man. That's pretty badass.
That's really,
but
really cool.
I will say, the next time, bring your podcast out there with you.
Yeah, we'll roll
that
out there
we
with you.
can,
That's awesome.
This was pre Tapped In Media podcast.
Gotcha. Dude, that's
okay,
a good
on the
piece,
next one,
man.
Invite us out.
Congrats, man. That's a really good piece.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Again, I have these crazy ideas sometimes. So this is where, we'll fast forward to where I'm at now.
Right.
Well, but before you do that, what actually led to your opportunity to put your work out there? Or who gave you that opportunity?
I was trying my best to get into places. I was trying my best to showcase my work in galleries and stuff like that. And I kept getting the door closed on me. What year was it? To Live and Die in LA. Right when we got back together, right?
Couple.
2021?
So 3-4 years ago, Los Angeles Deftones, Frankie Orozco, gave me an opportunity and allowed me to be a part of To Live and Die in LA. This event is a showcase to help people show their work. He picks certain artists,
right?
Then gives artists, he'll have you submit pictures, and he'll pick the one that suits the show, right? He opened that door.
Nice. I seen the recap video on that.
He opened the door.
That's awesome.
I was in there as a vendor to begin with.
No way.
But I took it as I'm showcasing my work. And I did, because I sold some work there. I took all my pictures, I took prints, and I had, like a shirt, and I think I had hats, right? Or something like that. And as a vendor,
branding,
I was getting my name out there.
Oh, yeah.
But I was getting my name out there in a way of still showing my work. So I took an opportunity. And I paid whatever it was that he was charging to be a vendor, and I did it. And I was actually backing out at the time, and he pushed me to stay in it because I was going through a bad divorce, and I was going through all the shit I was going through, and a lot of my stuff got destroyed. Years of work got destroyed, and some of the prints that I had for the show got destroyed, and it kind of messed me up. Then my wife now, Cindy, was like, "I'll help you. I got you."
Shout out Cindy. That's cool.
Shout out Cindy. She made some hats for me. I think we made a couple T-shirts or something like that. And I had my prints made, and shout out to Copycats at the time. I was going to Copycats in Santa Fe Springs, and they hooked it up, and I showed some work. I got in. I got my foot in the door.
And along the way, you've helped a lot of people, because we've talked to Emiliano and we've already talked to Cindy too, and they both credit you for pushing them.
I got an opportunity as soon as that To Live and Die in LA helped out. I started to have momentum and making the right choices. Now I see how this world works. Now I see how I gotta do it. I gotta show my work. So Undisputed Principles. We just happened to be walking around downtown LA one day. We wanted some tacos. We went to some taco spot right there on downtown LA on Spring Street. And I walk around the corner and Cindy goes, "Look at that." And it was a shot of the new 6th Street Bridge before they built that stupid monstrosity that blocks the skyscraper.
Oh, yeah.
And Emiliano had just had a show there. And that's when I met Emiliano. That's when I met Gian from Undisputed Principles. And he told me, "I want to have your work, dude. I love your work. I want to have it." And at the time, he was hosting Downtown LA Art Night, and he gave me another opportunity, came in that form, and he let me showcase my work, where I got to I sold a lot of work, and he made some prints for me and stuff like that, but I got to show my work in Downtown LA. So cool. And my goal was always to be in a gallery in Downtown LA.
Wow.
So Gian hooked it up, and he introduced me to some people, and I met this one dude, and he gave me a gallery.
He gave you that opportunity to show your work.
He told me, "You're going to be sharing the gallery with this other person." The guy was from New York. The guy, when we got to the spot was called The Little Easy. A lot of people who do know it. It was a restaurant, Cajun restaurant in downtown LA on 5th Street, in between Spring and Broadway. And I had the back room. The back room was like this huge space.
Yeah.
I remember we went to go see it, me and my wife, and I'm just like, "Can I do this?" Like, I was like so overwhelmed, like, "Can I do this?"
Oh, yeah.
And in a short period of time, they gave me 2 weeks.
Sure, it was a great moment, too.
2 weeks. They gave me 2 weeks to fill up this room full of art.
And was it a one night, or was it like a running show?
So they had their Downtown LA Art Night has their event once a month.
The legendary art walk.
Art walk.
Yep.
Right? So it was going to be the one night. So I'm scrambling. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Then I remember I had to go. I think I had to borrow some money to get the frames. I had to borrow some money. I had people fucking helping me with frames, prints and stuff like that. And it was just like, it was hard, but I did it.
Yeah.
I kid you not, it was my first show, my show in downtown LA. We're in this gallery. I have people from all kinds of life walking around doing this and that. And I get people telling me, "Oh man, your work is dope, man. Your work is awesome." And I'm just like, I didn't know how to take it, dude. I honestly didn't know how to take it.
Wow.
I think at the end of
What
the
a
night,
moment.
I think at the end of the night, I cried. Like I was like,
I would cry too, man.
I literally was like,
That's
I'm
your work.
overwhelmed. Like it took 30 years for me to do this. Doors getting shut in my face. You know, life experiences, ups and downs, more downs than ups. You know, and
School, double jobs.
you know, and it was like,
Parents, I mean, not being around because of what they were going through.
Losing 2 marriages.
Two
This show-
marriages.
This show happened, and I think they were so like overwhelmed with everything I did that they offered me the spot on the spot.
That's so cool.
At the end of the night, they said you can have it for the rest of the year.
Damn.
I saw the recap video on that too, to Live and Die in LA, and we'll put the link in the YouTube, of course, below so they can see it, and we'll also put the link to your current video, your award-winning video. Got to insert that there, man.
Yep.
You can't forget that type of stuff because you work hard on that.
And then here comes this huge opportunity. Now I got a residence in a gallery.
Damn.
So I didn't know what to do, and mind you, my show was good, but I was like, I don't want to keep doing it about me.
Right.
I had invited Emiliano, and Emiliano got the hallway because I still had to fill up the hallway. And Emiliano took the hallway, and Emiliano's a dope ass fucking curator. He's fucking badass. You know what I mean? I've turned to that dude more times than I can remember, and he's helped me out big time. And we became really good friends. And it's funny how
He's actually in Spain right now.
he got back. He's back. He got
Oh,
back
really?
yesterday.
Yeah,
Madrid.
he was with my cousin.
No way.
Out there. Yeah,
my
helping
gosh.
out a friend.
Wow.
So he's back in school, and they got this program, but they got to showcase his work out there in Madrid. You know,
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So fast forward, I'm now a part of the Street Soup that's in Milan, Italy. We have this.
Wow, look at this
We have
guy.
this gallery, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something that I wish somebody would have done
Where
for
have
me.
I heard that? Street Soup?
Yeah, the Street Soup. It's a coalition, and it's a collective gallery in Milan, Italy.
Is it for photographer and graffiti artists,
No,
or is it
just
just
photo- just-
photographer?
just photography.
Oh, okay. I've heard that.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give back to the photography community. I know a lot of photographers who want to show their stuff.
Yeah.
I know a lot of talented photographers who want to show their stuff. So I started making phone calls, and I started telling people, I got a wall for you. You want to show some of your work? What are you talking about? Do you want to show your work? Yes or no? I wasn't like beating around the bush. I was like, bro, just meet
You
up
want
here.
a yes
I'm
or
gonna
no?
show you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you what you're gonna do. I give this person that wall. I give this person that wall. And next thing you know, I've got a total of, what was it, like 9 people total the first show. After that, every month we kept changing it. We kept bringing in photographers. I was taking what Frankie did for me, what not very many photographers would do for other photographers. I wasn't being selfish. We started Urban Lens Gallery, and we rocked and rolled with it, and we had it for 9 months.
Pretty cool.
9 months of showcasing up and coming artists,
At Urban
showcasing
Lens.
people's work at Urban Lens Gallery. And it was me and Emiliano doing a lot of the legwork, a lot of making sure the promotions, a lot of getting people out there on that one Thursday a month, the first Thursday of every month.
And
I
art
had
walk.
lowriders, I had graffiti artists showing up, I had sponsors giving us stuff to sell and give away and stuff like that. Dude, we had art in there. It was about LA from people from LA. And I say this not disrespectfully, but it's true what they're doing. Downtown LA Art Night is no longer about people from LA. They're only about people from like
the
East
East
Coast.
Coast.
And
Yeah.
they wanted to take the momentum that we had because we brought life back to 5th Street.
You were down there during their golden era, like when
The Alexandria Hotel had all these little shops, and they were trying to figure out how to fill up and create business back in that area.
right.
Well, we were a huge benefit to downtown LA. We were a huge benefit to downtown LA Art Night, and they knew it because we were bringing people. People were coming to see this artist. People were coming to see my work, Emiliano's work. People from all around down Los Angeles, from out of Los Angeles. We had people coming from San Fernando Valley. We had people coming from, you know what I mean, Pomona. We had people coming from IE. We had people coming from Santa Barbara. Dude, people were coming to see the work
show.
that we had. I was calling in favors. Hey, Hazard, can you come and do a show? Hey, you know what? We had Kiki Smooth. I had my stepson, DJ Vito from K-Dave. rock
Yeah.
turntables a couple times.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I had the homegirl Muñeca. I had Anaí. I was bringing people out. I was giving everybody their forum. Yo, can you give me 10 minutes of some music? I got you. That's all I ever heard was I got you, man. You know, hell yeah, because you did this for me or you did that for me.
You were building community.
I was building what I wanted.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Dude, and I started realizing this thing is making waves. People were like, "Whoa, how'd you get that spot, bro?" People that didn't believe in me were coming and showing, and they were like,
It's pretty cool.
I see what you're doing. Órale.
Yeah.
Órale.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So you know, here I am now. I'm still doing the same thing, taking pictures.
But that's what takes most of our interest about you is because of the stuff that you've done, and on top of like, I mean, the black and white stuff that you do is crazy good.
I've learned. And I think somebody said it best. You're capturing the soul and the essence of that person when you capture a black and white shot. I've always paid attention to that, you know, to detail. I've taken pages out of Esteban's book. I've taken pages out of Merrick Morin's book. Here are two iconic photographers. And let's get this right. And not kissing ass. It's not swinging. Yeah. It's true facts.
Yeah, Esteban is a legend.
Esteban is a legend because he took shots that you cannot replicate that era. You can't redo the 90s. No matter how hard you think you're a gangster and this and that, it ain't the same thing.
No, it's not.
It ain't the realism that he took. Merrick Morin captured the 80s. He was in movies, on movie sets, La Bamba, Colors. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. He's got pictures of actors and actresses, dude, and he's got pictures of like real gente from the 80s. And these are the guys that I looked up to. These are the guys that I'm looking at their work, you know, and then I get to mingle with, like, you know, Suitcase Joe, Julia Dean. Here I am sitting in the corner talking with Merrick Morin, like no problems. And I'm showing him my book that I just dropped. And he's just like, dude, I like this book. I like the paper. He kept filling the paper. And I'm like having a proud moment like that. But you know what? I'll say this, and I mean this 100%. Stay humble, stay hungry, and live life to its fullest. Because you know why? You can come crashing down quicker than shit. I'm not going to get big-headed. I don't do this for fortune. I don't do this for fame. I do this because I really, truly love el arte. I love creating arte with my camera. I'll pick up a camera and I'll go take a picture. Some people looking at me crazy when I'm taking pictures, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm just capturing the shot. Like, you want to see it? And I show it to them. Like, I'm still old school. I still ask permission to take pictures, you know? Sometimes people are looking at me like crazy. I'm like, okay, yeah. I think I've gotten into places. That's nice, though. I've gotten into places because I know how to be a people person. I know how to understand it. I come from nothing. Let's get this right. I've told you guys my story.
Yeah.
I literally come from nothing. I have lost it all more than once. I'm not afraid to lose anything. I'm not afraid to struggle. I'm not afraid to be in the grimy and the gritty. That's what makes me different. That's what makes me who I am. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'll help people. I give benefit of the doubt to the people I probably shouldn't give benefit of the doubt to. But guess why? I know how hard it is to come back. I know how hard it is to lift yourself
because you did it.
Because I went through all that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've been in the mud more than once.
Do you think you'll come out with another book?
I am coming out with another book.
Like that, because the random book or that
random buckshots. So my book's name, the name of my book is Random Buckshots of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I could have went different routes, had it published, could have done this, but I wanted to do something on my own. I wanted to prove to myself, not to anybody else. When I approached my wife with it, I told her I want to do this. She looked at me like, huh? She didn't understand why I wanted to do it, why I wanted to fund it myself. It wasn't a cheap thing. I went through the first time we messed up, and how much did I spend the first time? It was like, what?
she just laughed it off.
I want to say it was like $1,500 the first time, and I messed up. I messed up because I didn't do the book the right way. I misunderstood the wording. I got the soft cover book. It was like, And I put all I learned off of that first fail, and I put it into that book. That book, Random Buckshots of Los Angeles, is my heart, sweat, blood, and tears. And so much sacrifice that I've ever gone through in my life is in that book.
Did you think it was going to sell out?
No.
Honestly,
because we were buying them in increments that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And it made sense because we didn't have the money at the time.
By the way, we're still waiting to have one right here.
I'm actually in the works of making more.
I mean, we told him that a while back, but
I'm sorry.
I'm going to keep repeating it.
I'm sorry.
And I want to be in the book.
No, well.
He brought it up.
I'm going to push it, right?
I haven't made new copies.
This guy loves the camera.
What? I'm just saying.
Not video, but
he's our manager. Might as well have us,
Yeah,
right?
hell yeah.
there's some
and you
priorities.
can have me in a seat.
There's some
with a
priorities.
microphone like
There's
this.
some priorities that I have to take care of, and that's the reason why I haven't made any more. But
That's cool.
I'm actually going to make more because a lot of people are asking me, and I need to make more.
Your
for two reasons.
your second sold out book is coming soon. Then is what you're telling us.
Basically, yeah.
Already calling it for.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
And-
We're gonna cut that on a promo and put it up on our
There you go.
on our and be like, we got the promo, dude. We're waiting for the
So
book
right
to
now,
come
right
through.
now, the project that I'm working on is called Chair Series. I've been doing this chair series for about a year. I didn't understand what I was doing or didn't realize what I was doing, and I figured it out, and it was inspired by other people doing what they were doing. Kay is a very well-known photographer out of the West Side. She did this thing called the Bench Series. She was going to a bench that's in between Venice and Santa Monica and was taking pictures twice a day. Whoever was sitting in the bench, she took a picture of it.
Wow,
She did
that's
that.
interesting.
She did that for a whole year. We went to her show, and I was just like, "Wow, like this is dope, right? I got something like this, you know." We're chopping it up, and she's just like, "Push it." And then I started, pushing it and promoting it. And Cisco Street Lens 72 said, "Hey Rene, give me a call." And I was like, "Okay." He DM'd me. I called him. I've been doing something similar, but dude, like I didn't push it. I didn't get a momentum for it. He called it the Chair Series, the Chair Chronicles. Similar to what I'm doing, just his more in depth. He's a dope ass fucking photographer. I love that vato. Very great mentor. I turn to him when I really need help in something with a picture or something. And when he told me, he's like, "I see what you're doing." He goes, "You got something I don't. You got the passion. You got the want it to make it happen.
And that's a lot.
Push it."
Most people don't have.
When
that
he told me
right?
that, I was just like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, push it." Man, gracias,
That's
dog.
dope.
I appreciate it. Coming from
That's
a big
dope.
dog like that,
Oh yeah.
like he's huge. I mean, this dude been in museums. This dude is, you know what I mean? He's a retired old man just chilling and taking pictures. I was like, it humbled the
Man.
fuck out of me, man. It swear to God,
That's pretty cool.
It took me back to where I needed to get to.
Yeah.
And
Rene-
a lot of times, that's what happens.
Promote your website though, because obviously I've been on your Instagram, you know what I mean? But like your website has, the spread on the website is crazy. When you click that photography and it's like, damn, you just go through, like, it's pretty good.
There's more coming to the website too. Trust me, we're now in the process. I'm gonna be making shirts.
Yeah.
With my work on it.
With the new logo too. I
Saw that.
So over here.
Yeah, that's dope. Yep.
Check this out.
I saw it with that bad boy right there, featuring that bad boy right
No,
there.
no, it's not. It's
Oh, it's not
not
that one. It's a different
with
one.
my Pentex.
Oh, the Pentex. Oh, that's right. There it is. Oh,
The website's gonna host a lot of more stuff, and basically,
yeah, we got
basically, I got more coming. poetkingphotos.com.
So and your Instagram?
Oh, my Instagram is Rene_PoetKing_Rodriguez.
And I did want to say something that going back to, saying stay humble, stay hungry, which is one thing that you've always been telling us. And I
Yeah.
appreciate you very much for
That is so
taking
true.
on and helping
I'm trying
us.
to be a good manager.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. We're very, very grateful that, you decided to come in and join us.
And allow us to do this properly, because the first time we did it, we were a fucking mess. Straight up, man. I was the worst. I'll take it.
I don't think I'm managing you guys the way you think a manager is supposed to do it. What I'm doing is I'm giving guidance, right?
But
I'm
we
guiding
love
you guys
it.
because
We
I'm
love
gonna say
it.
this. I'm gonna say this. Tapped In Media has taken on a new forum. Tap In Media has taken this podcast to another level, and there's a reason behind that. You guys can see it in every episode you watch. Go back and watch all these episodes. Look at all the people that are telling their stories the same way I told my story right now. I broke down and told you guys things that I probably haven't talked about. I think for a reason, because I was always scared to tell my side of the story because I don't think I'm important enough. But this is the reason. This is the reason why I've learned that somebody's gonna take this interview and be like, "Yo, I'm going through this right now."
Exactly.
help.
That's the whole. That was our whole intent.
That's where you guys have taken this to the next level, and I appreciate that, man. And I love how you guys are
we
listening to
appreciate
me
you.
and taking that guidance. And again, this show is for the people, and this is why
Thanks,
we're doing
brother.
it. And I love
Appreciate.
I love what I'm doing. I love that I get to bring in people that really have a story. And I'm not knocking anybody because there's so many stories out there. We want to hear everybody's story, but at the same time, you've got to really understand that we're here to help. I'm here
Oh,
to
yeah.
help. I want to help
same.
this community of photography and this community of understand that it's okay. It's okay to be on the bottom. It's okay to be struggling. It's okay to, because at the end of the day, if you wait long enough, riches come in different forms.
That's right.
You know, reality is we struggle every day. I struggle every day. I still fight depression. I still fight my urges and my demons.
We all do.
And
Yep.
I think being real about it is where people need to hear it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thank you guys so much for the
Thank you,
outcome.
man.
And
Thank you.
so
This
much
was
for
cool.
the love,
Thank
know
you.
what I mean?
And we
Also, I
hope to
thought it was-
continue working together.
Yeah.
This will not end.
No.
And then, like I said, I want to be in that next book.
And you scared,
The same.
and you scared the hell out of Jr. Dude. When we had Jr. in here, he's like, "I'm not gonna cry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cry." We're like, "What?"
Well,
JR's awesome.
hey,
You scared him, dude.
Shout out to Jared, because he's the reason why I understand podcasts. He's the reason
Yeah.
why
That's right.
I
He
got
did
told
tell
me
us
he-
that.
I
Give
got
us
to
a
be
breakdown.
I got to be a part of some of the shows, and I got
Yeah.
to be, you know, taking pictures, and
It's
that's when I
dope.
started off. And when I got interviewed one day, and I didn't realize I was getting interviewed because they didn't tell me I was going to get interviewed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I take people's criticism, and I take people
For
giving me
sure.
opportunity. If you give me opportunity, by all means, I love that. I'm receptacle by it.
And I got, as always, we always have to do the quote.
Oh, I blew that
So, sorry, I don't know why it's being called. So, and it kind of correlates with some of the things that you were saying.
What we were talking about with
Yeah, and also with the whole stay humble, stay hungry. And this is try not to become a man of success, but rather become a man of value.
you. It's not bad, right? Albert Einstein.
And here's the thing, he was the smartest motherfucker ever,
I know.
but he was also the humblest motherfucker ever.
Stay humble, stay hungry.
Exactly.
Right?
Hey, but
Hey.
you know he had a younger brother that was a monster? His name was Frank.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Frank Einstein.
Got me off guard on that one for sure.
And on
I'm
that
like,
note,
I'm like, for real?
shout out to Andy Q for coming through. Also, big shout out to Cindy for
hold on.
sitting.
Before we leave, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that quote, Rojo. But we heard another quote. I think we
That's
need to
right.
for the
We should
record.
wrap that one up
That's
too
true.
in there.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, tell us that
Hold
one,
on,
man.
hold on,
It was a
hold on.
proud,
hold
warm
on.
parental
Proud
moment
moment.
Let me-
for
It's-
both of you and your wife.
Wait,
For the record.
Hold on.
Yeah.
the-
You gotta put on the glasses.
The old man has to put on his glasses.
Damn, that's some bifocals, bro.
So, bro, I can't see up close no more. Stop making fun of me. So today, I was honored, and I was so humbled to be able to put my stepson, Anthony, in my project called the Chair Series. DJ Vital from K-Day. You know,
Shout out to DJ Vital.
Shout out
He's
DJ
K-Day.
He's on
What up, man?
CC's afternoon ride. He does the afternoon mix, the hard knock mix on the afternoon. And I took a picture of him, and I said, Mijo, I need your quote. Can you send it to me? Because I'm going to post your picture today. He sent me back this quote. Starve the ego, feed the soul.
I like
Caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that at all. And I was just like,
That's
I
cool.
fucking love that. You know, so again,
Nice,
I was-
warm, fuzzy moment. That's all I was
it's
saying.
It's a moment that like, wow.
Yeah.
All right. You know,
That a boy.
But
For sure.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. You know, I'm grateful for him, and I'm grateful that he is who
Proud
he is.
mama.
And, yeah, proud mom in the
I
back. You
saw
know,
it, yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to see this kid rise, and he's doing it.
Hell yeah.
He's doing it. You know what I mean? So
That's cool.
just remember that.
Well, Rene, thanks so much for your time, man. We really appreciate it. Of course, the time that you give us too on other things that most people don't know on the podcast. That's a whole nother thing. But we know that you're a busy guy. You know, you went through a lot of changes recently, and we do really appreciate you coming around.
Yeah, I got a lot of things going on. I apologize.
No, it's all,
all
good,
good.
man. Head
It's
on
all
over
good.
to Rene. Check him out. You can check us out at Tapped In Media on YouTube. And, of course, our Instagram and our TikTok is Tapped_In_media.
Yeah, right,
I got
dude.
that right. Yeah, and big shout out to all of our sponsors. Also, Javier, thanks again for bringing food this time
yeah,
around.
Javier.
Because the last time we didn't even have food.
Javier, last time I'm just saying. Yo,
Come on, bro.
But Taco Bell good. Upland, go get some tacos.
Go see them,
Gotta
man.
get them
Sent you.
tacos.
Thank you, everybody that checks us out. You know the do. Like and subscribe. Go and hit it up. And, let us know what you guys think. Write in a comment. How
Yeah,
about
give
that?
us, drop some comments.
Take care of yourselves, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.